everybody. We're back for another episode of In the Black. I'm Janelle.
And I'm Tre'elle. What's up, y'all?
Hey, how are you guys? I hope you're doing well. How are you feeling, Trio?
Y'all, I'm doing extremely well. How you feeling, Janelle?
I'm good. I'm good. Excited for this conversation. We're talking money today. That's my favorite.
Let's get it. Let's get it. So we came out of the conversation, just our last conversation, and we talked about the role, right? You said that human beings that we are in a role when we are an entrepreneur. Let's talk in this kind of this transition from being in the role of an entrepreneur and how that impacts your money as you are in the middle of a transition.
So I feel that as human beings, we have roles for all aspects of our lives. I have the role of a mother, the role of a sister, the role of an entrepreneur, the role of a daughter. There's so many roles that we play, right?
Mhm.
So as we're in the mindset and the role of an entrepreneur, how do we continue to keep making money while we're in transition? Because you pointed out and said, I was declining customers. I was declining clients. I couldn't work with them. I didn't have the bandwidth because remember, you're still handling all your other roles. You're still handling the role of a
Mhm.
mother, a wife, a daughter, sister. You have all those other roles still playing into that fact. So the role of entrepreneurship is the role that brings in the money into your life. Motherhood is not typically going to bring in money into your life. Being a
Mhm.
wife is typically not going to bring in money into your life. So entrepreneurship is the place you're bandwidth. Being an employee is another place where money can come into your life, right? So there are things that you can do to kind of bridge the money, right? So you're in your business and you're doing Target branded. We're going to use Target brand example. We're doing Target branded. Now we're
Mhm.
transitioning to another business, but while we're transitioning to that other business, how do we make money in between the time? So there's a couple things that I like to do. One thing is called fractional work. So let's say that you are in branding. You can come into a company, you can pitch a company and say, I'm a fractional brander. You could go to the company and pitch them and work for them 10 hours a week at a very high rate. $150, $200 an hour because you're fractional. They don't have the overheads of a full-time employee. They're not paying you benefits, taxes, insurance, things like that. So they can increase your hourly rate. So that's a
Mhm.
way you can make the money, a similar decent amount of money until you get to the other side of your new business while you're
Mhm.
still clarity because all you're doing is execution based work. So you don't need to think or have strategy. You can leave your strategy, your mental brain power for your transition.
Mm. That's really good.
There's other small things you can do. You could monetize a hobby. So say you have a hobby of playing music. I know Trielle likes to play music. She likes to sing. She could pitch herself to choirs and sing on the choirs. She could play music for the churches, things like that to bring her in extra money while doing things that she loves. Right? And I also say it's easier instead of making more money, it's to downgrade our living style,
Mm.
right? While we're in the transition. And I'm not saying this has to stay this way forever, but while you are transitioning and trying to figure things out, maybe buy less, cut down
Mhm.
on your expenses, kill those subscriptions that you don't have to have but want.
Mhm.
Try to simplify your life as much as possible, so
Mm.
that it doesn't hurt as bad when you are in this transition time frame. What do you typically like to do, Trio? Like right now, what did you do? I know you have your husband, but outside of that, was there anything that you did to kind of get through this transition period?
Yeah, so I still have like clients that are
Mm,
on a not a subscription based, but like on a month to month contract. And so I'm not gaining new clients, but I am still maintaining the subscribers, right? Those who are in that month to month. And so that has been a way of keeping and maintaining the revenue, kind of keeping the pulse of Target branded so that it doesn't flatline. You know what I mean? But just maintaining the subscriptions and the clients. And these are those who are kind of receiving fractional work, like more so like maintenance, whether that's like web maintenance, graphic design to continue to support their efforts. It's very low energy that has to go into it. You know, the system is already built. So all I have to do is let my automation send them their invoices at the beginning of the month. So that's factored into what the business does. That covers the cost of all of my subscriptions and if I need to buy new tech and all of that to keep the business and everything afloat while still building up the business account without just going flat. You know what I mean? So just maintaining the subscription, the clients who has the subscription model revenue in my organization. Another thing I have been doing is more so getting back to the things that I love. You mentioned the fractional work. So just being available to take photos for people. Just, hey, I
Mhm.
can take photos for you. So I have my camera here. You know, you're saying you get locked and loaded. I'm actually at the point where I need to buy a bigger lens, you know, one that has a bigger zoom. I'm at 70 on this one right here, but I need to get to 70 to the 300 so I can do more like outdoor things, sporting events and all of that. So I can get paid to do things that I love and still have a front of the row seat just by using my camera. My camera is literally a ticket to exploring. I would say getting better as a photographer, but also being able to pitch like, hey, what are you going to do after those pictures? Are you going to do like email marketing? Let's have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about it. What you gonna do now? Like now what? You know, but it's just really giving me the ability to have fun without having the oh, I need to send the contract. Oh, I need to do this. Oh, I need to make sure this deadline. Like, no, you just send them pictures and all that kind of stuff. Even more recently, I went to my husband's graduation. Right? I ain't even gonna hold you. I went to my husband's graduation, and it was this lady who was in front of me who was so proud of her husband receiving his doctoral. She's taking pictures of him, but I'm taking pictures of her as she's taking pictures of him. Got these fly shots. I downloaded it on my use the app, and I was like, she had an iPhone. Can I just airdrop you these photos real quick? And now, boom, connection. You know what I'm saying? Took the photos, airdropped it. Now, you know, so it's just like I'm enjoying myself just being able to be a creator again
Mhm.
and showing up when I need to. Like I will never I cannot never like just go flatline in money. I just have too many elements that I can do to do something. Or like you mentioned in music, like, hey, can you and your husband, because my husband plays the keyboard and stuff as well. He's a musician as well. Hey, can y'all come? Can y'all play? Can y'all minister at this place? XYZ, can you do this conference? I'm doing speaking engagements, you know what I'm saying? Revenue's still coming in. I just ain't doing what I was doing. I'm just doing what, whatever's, coming my way to make it happen. Yeah. And having fun, just remembering to have fun again, you know what I'm saying? Doing the things that make me have a good time.
I want to point out a couple of things that you mentioned and I'm taking notes on. I want you guys to pay attention that Trielle said that her camera gets her access to other places. Okay? So what she's doing when she says that is she's offering to take pictures for free, but she gets access to the event that she wanted to go to.
Mhm.
Okay? You can also there's a lot of places have press passes. So you can fill out the form and say that you're part of media, part of press, and you're there to take pictures or even write articles. I know I write articles, so I can say I'm part of press and I can write articles for you for my publication. They'll let you into the events for free. I have also wanted to see like plays and shows, and I've volunteered to be an usher at events. Yeah. I have been a volunteer, and you get to see the show for free. You just stand up and watch the show. That's something
Mhm.
else you can do, and you also get to network. People who go to these operas, who these shows, the ballets, things like that, they're high caliber people. So you're gonna get access to the right level of people if you're going and doing these things, right? So I just want to point that out to you guys. She's like, "Oh, I have this camera." And it may not be that you have a camera, but you have other skills, you have other ways. You could pitch them if you build websites, you could pitch them, "Hey, I'll build a landing page for you in the future. Hey, I'll do this." Whatever service you have, if you cater food, "Hey, can I bring you some desserts or something as part of your thing as a volunteer?" There's so many different
Mm.
ways to get access to what you want. Right? So many different ways to get money. So you bring in the cakes and the cupcakes and stuff, people get to try it, they're like, "Oh, I want you to cater my party now." Right? So this is a way of this could be your calling card. Those photos that Tre'elle took for that lady is her business card, right? Because now homegirl is like, look at me at my husband's graduation, and she's showing all her friends these photos. Her friends like, who took these pictures? Yeah, at the thing. Let me give you her number, and she took them for free. What?
And you gotta understand it was doctoral level, so you know, so
Right.
you already know what time. Hey, let me throw this one out there too. I remember talking to you. I just shot my dream. I was like, I listen. If anybody knows me for real, I really want to meet Felicia Rashad. Like
Mhm.
point blank in the period. Like I feel like I will know when my life has hit that peak when we in the same room having conversation. I ain't talking about just around. We actually conversing. Like I got your number, you got my number type deal. Anyway, so I pitched to Janelle. I was just like, yo, I really want to get into acting. I want to try this because, again, this is a part of the new movement that I'm doing as I'm pivoting from, one thing to another. And she's like, girl, boom, 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 send me this link. Like, girl, they doing casting for this show. Maybe you should try it out. End up finding out that it was for a different world. And now I'm in the room with Miss Debbie Allen. If y'all know, Miss Debbie Allen is Felicia Rashad's sister. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm living a childhood dream come true and got paid to do so. Just doing some background work. Yeah, I had to travel to the A for a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But it worked out and it shifted my life. It really changed my life and my perspective. And I'm just like, bro, if you don't volunteer, if you don't sign up, if you don't just take the gig, if you don't go to the audition, if you don't try the casting call, just recently being at a casting call with Survivor, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you just don't do it and just be in the room with people who are like you and use that as an opportunity to connect with others that's like you, because I feel like we can be in a lonely world as an entrepreneur, like we by ourselves. But if you just go after the things that you like and things that you love and you find a way to get into it, you find your community by doing the things that you like to do, the things that you enjoy to do, and other people are just like you in line waiting to go and audition or in line waiting to be an usher or in like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I just want to throw that out there too.
Can I admit something?
Yeah.
Up until this month, I had never seen A Different World. I started watching A Different World this month. I have watched all seasons. I'm in the last 5 episodes tonight.
Okay.
I have laughed, I have cried. I have never seen it before, never. And I know on some
Girl, go ahead. I'm gonna hold it in.
some restraints, I don't have my black card because there's a lot of black things I have never seen before. But when I tell you that show is so beautiful, the way that it goes through all black problems and talks about black issues, it's getting
Mm.
Whitley is getting a little silly now in her. They've made her, and I didn't like that. Like they dumbed her down because she got married. But
Mm-hmm.
other than
But
that,
that wedding
girl,
scene,
when I tell you I fell out on the bed, when I literally physically fell out on the bed. If my wedding is not like that, I don't know what to tell you. There
girl.
better be some passion, okay? Somebody better want me. I promise you I have never seen that movie before, so even when you were talking about I gave you the information to try out, I had no idea what it was. I mean, I knew what A Different World was. I just never was interested in watching it. But
Mm,
so good. So good. So I just wanted to share it with you. I've never
wow. Girl, my heart.
and
But
I've
I'm
been up
happy that
here
you watched it.
Yes, I've been up here just cracking up laughing. And the other night, Andre came upstairs and he was like, "Oh, you're not laughing. You're not watching the show today?" Because he just liked hearing me laugh. Like I'm just upstairs
Wow.
cracking up. They're so funny.
Now the first season, and once you get past that first season, when they brought Debbie in, Mrs. Debbie in to that space, that's when it really shifted, and that was the reason why I said I was going to go to college. That's the reason why I applied to a bunch of HBCUs when I was in high school. It was the only show that could give me Felicia after the Cosby Show. You know what I'm saying? But it also transitioned into the reality that I wanted to live. I saw myself in all of the, well, not in all the characters, but I saw myself like I want to go to college. That's the only example I had because no one in my family ever went to college. You know what I mean? So that show was I was like, one day, I said, one day I'm gonna be on this show. I remember I told him one day I'm going to Hillman and they burst my bubble in middle school. Like, what? That is not a real college. So when I told Miss Debbie that story, girl, they was leaving every in end of the day or whatever. Everybody leaving, everybody so happy to leave because we been doing this club scene. Everybody been in their heels, people been tired, okay? And they all just stormed out the door, happy to leave. And she was just sitting there, kind of just, blah, blah, blah. So I went up to her, I said, "Oh, can I tell you a story? Can I tell you back in sixth grade?" I told her that story. I had a full circle moment.
What did she say back? Did she laugh?
She was like, okay, so I told her the story. I was like, and they told me this, and then she was like, but you here now. Say so we was just like dumb hype and I was just but thank you for like everything, like you really made my dream come true. And she was like more like humbled, by it. And I hope it was everything you expected it to be. I'm like, and then some type deal. So it was a good exchange. It was like a full circle where like my heart was healed. You know what I mean? Like it did so much for me. And that's why I was just like, I want the freedom to be able to do more things like this. Like you said, you were tied to your location. I've been tied ball and chain to this computer. You know what I'm saying? Like I need to get out there and continue to live, not relive my childhood, but just live the dream that I have on the inside of me. And I think that's what helps. Like if I gotta take some photos or if I gotta do a quick campaign or write a quick something to make some money to get to where I'm trying to go. For an example, there's a cookout, the black cookout they be doing in DC.
Mhm, mhm.
And it's like $2,000. I'm like, bro, let me just go ahead and push a product or like let me just push a service. Let me get my ticket, so like how to activate them systems when you need to,
Mhm.
say make things happen. But as of right now, I'm enjoying taking my time and discovering who I am at this big age.
I love that. I love that. I just wrote untie. Untie from the computer. Untie. So what are you tied to? What are you tethered to that you need to break away from? Right? Some people are tied to their car. They're driving around making money. Some people are tied to to an office. They need to untether from these things because it's holding them back. Right? So there are different ways. We were talking about money in transition.
Oh,
So there are
yeah.
different ways. We got all off topic. There are different ways to make money, but sometimes you need to untie. You need to untether yourself and think outside of the box. Tre'elle's point was to take the chance. Sometimes you have to drive. I think I told you guys a story about where I had to drive all the way to Kentucky to learn vibe coding. My friend, she just called me Shauna, and she was like, "Thank you for opening up my eyes to AI."
Mm,
Yeah, she just called me and told me that. Thank you so much. Because she's like, the sky's the limit. I told her that only 20% right now, as of us recording this call, only 20% of the world is using AI. Yes. And she said she had to look it up herself, and it's true. So the other 80%, they're going to have to come to us when the time comes. We need to have everything set up and built, systems in place, so that when they come, we have something for them to use, something for them to buy, and to help them.
yeah.
Because we're using AI thinking that everybody's doing it because everybody that's around us, the algorithm is showing us us. But what about the rest of the world that aren't using it? What about the rest of the world that's not using your service for the people listening? That are not even thinking about the things that you're offering yet. They're down the pipeline, all the way down. What do you need to do to get ready for them? That's where the money is in the transition.
Falling in love with the problem.
Mhm. Not the solution, because your solution is that old thing that you're trying to get rid of, that you're trying to pivot from. The solution, the problem is where you're headed to.
I ain't got nothing else. That was good. That was a good mic drop right there. Real.
All right, guys. It's been wonderful. I hope this was helpful. Let us know. Reach out. We're building community here, like we always say. So reach out to us, please. We'd love to hear your thoughts, feedback, questions. if we can help
Thanks.
in any way.
Until next conversation, y'all. Stay blessed.
Bye.
Peace out.